All right, welcome back, mathematicians. This is the second example on ordering numbers. So this question asks us to place the following numbers in order from least to greatest. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers here that I need to order from least to greatest. I'm gonna put a big box around here. That's important. Okay, so least we know is the smallest, greatest is the biggest. So I need to order these numbers from smallest to biggest. Now, a couple things. These numbers, number one, all of them are negative numbers, which tends to confuse us, and they're all fractions. Okay, so if you remember, step one when we're ordering numbers is always to first convert everything to decimal form. So I've got 4 fractions I need to convert here to decimals. So the easiest way is just divide them. So I've got -7/8. So if I go to my trusty calculator, I've got -7 divided by 8 gives me -0.875. Okay. I'm just going to stop 2 places after the decimal. I'm not even worried about rounding this number right now. So that was negative, what was it? Just a quick check. -0.87. Okay. -0.87. All right. So my next number is -1/3. Okay. So if I'm unsure how to do that in my head, I can go here. -1 divided by 3 gives me -0.333, and that goes on forever. So again, I'm just going to stop 2 places after the decimal. That was negative. Oops, let's make that -0.33. Okay. Then I've got -2/3. Well, I could just double this, but if I'm unsure, I can go to my calculator. All right, I can do -2 divided by 3, and I get 0.66666 all the way repeating. So I'm going to stop 2 places after the decimal. So -0.66. All right, so -0.66. All right, let's make this a little better if we can. All right, and then finally, I've got -2/5. So we actually did that one in the previous example, but let's do it again. -2 divided by 5 gives me -0.4. Right? So -0.4. All right. So now I want to order these from smallest to biggest. Okay. Now, negative numbers tend to mess us up a little bit. So what I recommend is let's put these numbers on a number line. Okay. So I know in the middle, all right, I'm going to put a 0. I know to the right of 0 are all my positive numbers, right? To the left of 0 are all my negative numbers. Now I'm just going to 1 and -1 because if I look, all my numbers fall in between the 0 and -1. Okay. So I'm going to start with my first one, which was -7/8. So we converted it to a decimal. We got -0.87. So it's negative. So it's to the left of 0. So I'm going to keep going 0.87 places, or -87 cents. So I'm not quite to -1. All right. But I'm more than 3/4 or more than 3/4 or 75 hundredths. So I'm going to just put a line somewhere around here. Right. And so this was -7/8. All right. I'm going to write the original number on my number line. Then next we had -1/3. We converted it to a decimal, -0.33. It's negative. It's to the left of 0. So I'm going to go -0.33 spaces. So I'm not halfway, right? Halfway would be -0.5. I'm not halfway. I'm a little less than halfway, right? So right around here. And then I'm going to write my original number, -1/3. Okay. Next, I had -2/3. We converted it to a decimal. We got -0.66, right? So I'm going to go, it's to the left of 0 because it's negative. I'm at -0.5 halfway. I still need to keep going. I'm not going to pass -7/8 because that was -0.87. So it's going to be in between halfway and that -7/8. So 2/3. All right, and then finally I have negative 0.4. Okay, so it's to the left of 0 because it's negative, right? So I'm going to pass negative 1/3, right? Because that's negative 0.33. I need to keep going. So it's just a little past that negative 0.33 or that negative 1/3. So that was negative 2/5, right? So now I need to place these in order. Well, if I look on my number line, they're already in order, right? Because my smallest numbers on my number line are to the left. My biggest numbers on my number line are to the right. So if I rewrite these in order from least to greatest, I'm going to write this because I know this looks a little bunched up here. So I had negative 7/8. That was my smallest number. That's the number furthest to the left. I then had negative 2/3, right? Because that was my next number. And then I had negative 2/5. And then my biggest number in this number set, or the number furthest to the right, was negative 1/3. So here's my answer. Place the following numbers in order from least to greatest. Here are my numbers. Put a big circle around that. From least to greatest.